Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
On today's show, we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 1, Episode 9, The Passenger. In this episode, Bashir and Kira rescue a prisoner transport ship that's on fire, and they take the survivor back to Deep Space Nine along with the deceased killer. But then Deep Space Nine comes under siege or attack from the killer, who's already dead. And then Bashir goes a bit nuts, and then everything resolves.
So how many times will they start an episode with Bashir being a scoundrel? Here's
exactly
another one.
What I was going to open with if you didn't. They can't write the start of an episode. They sit down to write a script and they're like, okay, Bashir is acting like a knob.
That's just permanently up on the writing board, and then they go from there.
Well, like they have a whiteboard for script ideas, but someone wrote that in permanent marker and they can't erase it.
Yeah, they made a mistake and wrote it in permanent marker, and they thought, well, we just have to put that in every episode now.
Either that or buy a new whiteboard.
Yeah, and they didn't have the budget. It all went up. They used their budget on Tosk's makeup.
Hey, that makeup was Emmy Award nominated.
It was really good. It was worth the nod.
Yeah, it was good. Not good enough for an Emmy, but almost.
Anyway, that is not this episode.
No, okay. This episode I felt was a bit not that great.
Go on.
It was reasonably interesting when you didn't know what was going on, although I felt it quite strange that they seemed to just accept what the woman was saying. I can't remember her name. She kept saying, well, he's clearly still alive in some form. And they all just say, yeah, okay, that sounds reasonable, I guess. But,
yeah, they just went with it.
Yeah, I mean, they had him in bits in the morgue. I mean, she was actually right, but they never queried, like, what form is he alive, how, what sort of methods, you know, they just sort of say, okay, he's sort of alive somehow.
Yeah, and Bashir gets bullied into performing medical procedures that he wouldn't even think to do. Yeah, I'll do that, I guess.
Yeah, she wanted an autopsy. She stabbed the corpse, which is not actually a problem, I guess, but did they not at some point think, she's a little bit off kilter? So what did you think of the big twist?
It made me laugh because it was where I thought they were going with the premiere, that the consciousness was existing, Cisco's consciousness was existing elsewhere. But it works better here than what I thought they were doing in the premiere. I
felt Bashir, the actor, his name is quite a mouthful, Alexander Siddig. I didn't think he was very good as a bad guy.
No, not at all. He's not convincing.
He would be good on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But not... That sounds harsh. I mean, the way he was portraying a bad guy in this episode came across like a Sesame Street character. Although there is a reason, I looked it up on the wiki. He did an accent in the filming, and then they later decided that wasn't quite right, so they overdubbed his dialogue with him doing a different voice.
Oh, that's why that was off. Yeah. I noticed that, and it didn't help.
No, so I think there's a little bit of artistic sort of mishmash going on there.
Also, he's the worst character to have someone manipulate, because we don't feel sympathetic for Bashir because his actions are always so objectionable. And when Cisco says, "No one blames you, Doctor." I was sitting there thinking, I do. Even though it presumably anyone could have been susceptible, and it was just that Bashir was exposed, but I still want to interpret it as a reflection of some sort of character flaw in Bashir because he's awful.
It kind of made the previous episode about Dex seem a little wasted because Bashir just killed a whole bunch of people whilst merged with another entity. And then they sort of say, yeah, that's fine. We've established that, so okay.
Yeah, you got to remember the salt. He's just yeah. You have to remember the salt. That's it.
I did. I mean, it's reasonable that they didn't blame him, but I don't know. It seems they were awfully quick to dismiss what happened. Like, I would think you'd need counselling and stuff after what happened. Maybe
he could consult himself, so then he wouldn't have to bother other people on Deep Space Nine. That'd be nice.
He's a doctor, not a therapist or counselor. Quark is the therapist.
Oh right, yeah, Quark. But Bashir's so full of himself.
Bashir had a rough time. Go to Quark's and get drunk. Yeah, he is. At the start when he starts tooting his own horn. And
I impressed myself on that one.
Kira is visibly cringing at it.
Yeah, that line, I impressed myself on that one. It echoes a line by Han Solo, sometimes I amaze even myself, but that's charming when Han Solo says it, so context matters a lot. And coming out of Bashir, it's just very unpleasant.
I think the phrasing is slightly different. Han Solo's line is slightly self-deprecating. Deprecating? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Or depreciating, or whatever the word is.
Yeah, deprecating.
Okay.
Yeah, Han Solo is poking fun at himself as if he's too dull to even recognize how amazing he is.
Yeah, Bashir's sort of saying, well, I'm usually amazing, but this time I was super brilliant.
That Kira was our surrogate in her visible cringing.
Yes, she played the audience.
They had to go that route with that pairing because there's no way Bashir could hit on Kira and survive. She would just rip his throat out.
Yeah, that would be a good episode.
Yeah, that would be entertaining.
It'd be good if it just had that start scene in the runabout and then the next scene was Kira arriving at Deep Space Nine on her own. She says, bad news, we lost Bashir.
Everyone shrugs.
So, yeah. Oh well.
Oh, no, she says that, and then O'Brien's there, and then he just continues talking, or whatever they were talking about.
She interrupts her. Yeah, O'Brien interrupts her.
I'm sure you have a list of criticisms.
Well, there's only really two major, I would call them errors, that I spotted in this episode. I'm sure there's probably more if you want to nitpick, but the first one, Bashir talks about the humanoid brain. He says a humanoid only uses a small portion of their brain.
Yeah, that's old myth.
That's not true. That's not even close to true. What's more, how small a part? The guy's consciousness was stored in like a tiny micro machine thing.
Yeah, that myth continues to perpetuate now. There was just that movie that recently came out, Lucy, with Scarlett Johansson, where the premise is that she takes a drug that allows her to use 100% of her brain.
Oh. It's daft. It's like saying a sprinter only uses 10% of their legs. So that irked me. That was a bit lazy on behalf of their research. But then again, this was written before you could just go on Snopes and see that these sort of things are not true. The other one was right at the end of the episode. After they beam Dr. Bashir's brain into a petri dish, the lady, I wish I could remember her name.
Kachada?
Yes, there you go. She takes control of the prisoner and shoots the petri dish with a sort of laser gun. Where? Why?
Yeah.
What? There's no laser weapons. There's no weapons on the promenade. Why has she got that?
Oh, that didn't even occur to me.
What? Why were all the officers there okay with that?
Yeah, that's bothersome that she kind of committed murder just then, and no one bats an eye.
Well, it's not the murder. I mean, yeah, who cares about that in a sense? It's just
just
cells.
the fact
but
that she
imagine
had a gun.
Yeah, imagine it was a real gun with normal Earth bullets. She sort of bang, 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 walked out.
And my work is done here.
Yeah. None of them said, whoa, what are you doing? But yeah, she shouldn't even have had a weapon. That's inconsistent. Plus, it's odd they even let her into ops or whatever. In fact, only Odo really suspected that she might be dodgy. So those were my two main gripes. My other gripe was that it was a very lazily put together episode in the explanations for things. There's a bunch of stuff about computer memory files, and then later on a bunch of stuff about tractor beams, which it's just waffle.
Oh yeah, that was just to create that pretend tension.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it works really well, like in the Dax episode when she's being kidnapped / extradited. That's very exciting. But in this one, it just... it's maybe because I don't care about Bashir at this point, or...
That's probably it.
Yeah. But even then, it's too much just, we could do a phase inversion and on the tractor beam put in a phase brain signal boost whammy. It's like, okay... I don't know. They shouldn't rely on that sort of script writing unless they absolutely have to.
That security guy that they brought in, he had the audacity to question Odo's methods right away when Odo's been there for quite some time.
Primin. Yeah, he seemed to have sour grapes about Odo. He didn't even factor in the fact that Odo can turn into anything and hide everywhere. I don't know, maybe that wasn't relevant, but I don't know. He dissed Odo, and then Odo went crying to Cisco.
And that conversation he has with Cisco, that made it clear to me that Odo would make a great villain if his idea of justice were distorted in any way, because he says, I need clear jurisdiction or I'm out. He's very black and white. If you take that to an extreme, he would be a great villain. And I hope there's an episode that plays on that idea, that somehow he turns on the Deep Space Nine gang.
I'm saying nothing, but I guess by saying nothing, I'm saying something.
I'm just throwing that out there. That's a wasted opportunity if they didn't explore that. Anyway.
Moving on, because I agree. That would be... Quark made his first venture into actual criminal stuff. Well, I don't know, he stole some things from a replicator before, but this time he hired people to murder people.
Yeah, that's a step up from petty theft.
Well, presumably he's been doing this sort of thing all along, but this is the first time we've seen him openly do very naughty things.
Also, it's weird that his place closes. I would assume it's just bustling with activity at all times, at all hours. He would just have someone else running the place when he needs to sleep.
Yeah, well, I assume they have a day-night cycle on the space station. I don't know why they would, but I assume they do. Presumably ships could arrive at any time. So you'd think the station would have to be fully functioning all the time. So yeah, that is confusing.
I got the impression it's just running all the time.
Well, the station would be, but yeah, Quark seems to open and close. Which kind of suggests there's a day-night cycle on the station.
Yeah, because Quark would want to take advantage of any opportunity to relieve people of their money.
Yes, if if there was no quiet times, he would keep it open.
It was convenient for the plot, is all that I could see.
Yeah. So Bashir could push a woman off a balcony. I don't want to just spend this entire podcast dissing Bashir, but it's pretty tempting.
They gave us the bait. It's just there for the taking.
Okay, well then, at the end, when Bashir gets beamed back onto Deep Space Nine, clearly still struggling, Sisko just pulls out a phaser and shoots him in the gut.
That would have been so much more satisfying had it been O'Brien who shot him.
Well, O'Brien rushes in like, wait, I'm back. Let me do it.
Yeah. Just in time.
No one said anything. No one reacted. But they all looked glum, like, oh, we have to shoot Bashir. But no one was like, ooh.
Yeah, no real hesitation.
And then they teleported his brain to solve problems. When Jadzia injected him, he woke up very quickly. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't remember.
He just wakes up within about a quarter of a second of being injected.
Oh, yeah. On the neck, right? He
yeah.
Just injected. Okay, yeah.
It's super fast. That's not a criticism. Who knows what they injected him with or how it works? I don't know.
He has really great blood flow.
That could be canonical. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know what the procedures are for handling dead people, but Dax didn't have any gloves on when she was examining the corpse.
Oh, yeah. Well, presumably they don't need them for some space reason.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you always supposed to wear gloves when handling a corpse? I don't know. You'd know. I'm kind of glad that you don't know.
But it just seems like a precaution that should be made, maybe.
Well, all the characters in this episode felt like they were walking through treacle or something. Like when the runabout goes out and Sisko or someone says, "Oh, who sent the runabout out? That's very strange." They just wait. They stand there watching it. They don't say, "Whoa, tractor beam on that runabout. That's clearly an incident, security issue."
That's not a time you want to take a wait-and-see approach.
I don't know if they were supposed to be waiting or if they were just trying to think of what to do, or I don't know. Also, it's convenient Bashir forgot everything, otherwise he could directly implicate Quark in the murder of several people, and would also have to live with having done that with his own body. Do you have a show quote of the day of words?
Yeah, even though you have been providing better ones than I have. But this one is from a character whom I've not quoted so far, I think. I'm sure. It's good to want things, says Quark.
Oh, that was a nice little... Yeah, I like that.
I agree.
Picking
you should
up pennies from
look
the floor.
forward to things.
It's his Ferengi nature. I think it's unsurprising that a Bashir-heavy episode isn't really that entertaining at this juncture.
I am not at all I am not at all surprised.
Shall we call it a wrap or a crap?
Well, it's a Bashir-heavy episode, and we don't even learn anything about Bashir, so we have to deal with him a bunch, and it gets us nowhere.
Yeah, well, it's like you said before, the Tusk episode was good because it revealed things that were in O'Brien's nature.
I'm never going to live that down.
No, it's a good criticism. This just tells us that Bashir is an idiot and he would not be scary as a bad guy.
It's in my nature to hate Bashir.
I almost expected Bashir to say, "I am really bad."
I am the worst. Behold my slow decline.
Behold my slow delivery of lines.
Well, they can't all be Bashir heavy episodes, so.
No,
And
that's it.
doubt
From here
they'd
on
do
out.
that. I doubt they would do that one after another as well.
No, from now on it's Bashir Space 9.
Bashir Space Nine. I don't even want to think about that.
That would be a very lonely station.
He would just be talking to cardboard cutouts of beautiful
Of himself.
ladies. Of himself, yeah.
All right.
Some with wigs on.
Oh, no, right, yep, that's it. I'm ending this.
And we're done.
Bye.
Bye.